Tez.
Welcome to the TezDown. Welcome.
Find the Tez.
Mic check 1 2. Welcome. Welcome to the TezDown. Party time. Welcome to the TezDown. It's your boy Tez. Yeah, we're happy to be back today. I got a good show planned for y'all today. What's up, Mikey? How you doing, man? What's up, Billy? How are you doing? Good to see y'all. You know, I am pretty excited about today because we're gonna get to the bottom of some things, and I think that the bottom is what some people love to get to. Y'all didn't like that one? Y'all didn't like that one? You know, obviously I can't hear anybody else, but I thought that was pretty funny myself. I really did. Um, So let's get started. You know what I mean? Let's get this out of my ear. You know, you guys, I'm gonna give you guys the utmost of my attention. Let's get this out of my ear and get this going today. Um, you guys saw what the tagline was. You know, I would drop it. I would drop it down just because I want to make sure that that we can have the right one going on right here. Today's topic episode is AI, the modern way. And that's with a question mark. And some people might say, why is that with a question mark, Tiz? It's with a question mark because AI seems to be invading our lives. AI seems to be invading our personal space. And AI also seems to be taking from us the things that we value the most. Our beards, our performers, our musicians, our artists. Conversations with Soft Rain in the building. What's up, Soft Rain? How you doing? Mikey Family, yo, Billy. Evening. It is morning over there, but it's evening in Great Britain. So we have up over here. Yeah. So I mean, there is, let me get this mic straight today. There is a general consensus amongst the people that AI might not be all it's cracked up to be. Yeah, I can't say it's not useful in certain areas. I can't say that it doesn't make tasks less arduous to do. But at what cost are we going to be at when it takes all of the jobs? That's a major concern when it comes to AI, don't you think? I think so. I think it's a major concern, considering with some of the things that I do, that AI has taken some jobs from me. It really has. You know, I think and I know that I lost a lot when it came to people using AI instead of, patronizing me. And I don't mean patronizing, but patronizing as in spending their money on an artist, spending their money on a creator to make the things that they need made. So, what we're going to do, we're going to start out with some news. You guys like news? You guys like news? We're going to start out with some news, okay? And I got to let you guys know the United States decided to bomb Nigeria on Christmas night last night. And we're going to have a special report coming up from Faux News right away.
To Fox News Alert, President Trump announcing the U.S. military has carried out strikes against ISIS terrorists in the northwest Nigerian region in response to the killing and kidnapping of Christians in the region.
And this comes amid fears of an ISIS resurgence following deadly attacks overseas.
Senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy joining us now from the nation's capital with the latest. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning. The Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, is saying his department is always ready and that ISIS found that out on Christmas. The commander-in-chief, President Trump's official word on this came via Truth Social in a post that says, "Tonight, at my direction as commander-in-chief, the United States launched a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria, who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen."
So, I want to read it because I don't like his cadence. President Donald Trump has posted on Truth Social. I'm not on Truth Social. Um, it's just another weird social media. I thought they had Twitter for this. Tonight, at my direction as Commander in Chief, the United States launched a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria, who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many years. Many years, and even centuries. I have previously warned these terrorists that if they did not stop the slaughtering of Christians, there would be hell to pay. And tonight, there was. He brought hell to them. So they sacrificed Tim to the true search social gods. Oh no, don't do that. I have never been on there, so I don't know what it's really like there, but I'm gonna let these guys cook.
For many years and even centuries. I have previously warned these terrorists that if they did not stop the slaughtering of Christians, there would be hell to pay, and tonight there was. This follows a handful of ISIS-linked or ISIS-inspired attacks that rattled the whole world this holiday season, including 2 Iowa National Guard members killed in Syria. That was Staff Sergeant William Nathaniel Howard and Staff Sergeant Edgar Brian Torres Tavar. And then a pair of incidents targeting Christians in Nigeria at a church on November 18th, and then the kidnapping of 315 St. Mary's students in Nigeria who have all now been fully accounted for. The Bondi Beach terrorists are also believed to have ISIS links. And when you look at this president, Donald Trump, for a lot of his second term, when he talks about the United States military might, he refers back to his first term when he ordered a huge campaign against ISIS that basically took ISIS out globally for years. And so this is not something the Trump administration wants to see bubble back up, which is why we are getting word about an overwhelming campaign, military campaign in Africa overnight. Back to you.
Yeah, Peter, it's notable when a major military move takes place on a holiday. Do you think that the symbolism of protecting Christians on Christmas factored into this timing?
Knowing President Trump, yes. And, he's got Raising Cane as the chairman of the Joint Chiefs. He is the person that President Trump credits with coming up with the idea of basically the way that they quickly and decisively took out ISIS in his first term. The president always tells this story about how he was getting a briefing from some military advisors and they said it was going to take months or years to take out ISIS. He talked to Dan Kane, who is now the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and he came up with a way to do it in weeks or months. And then that was that. And so, yes, the symbolism of doing this on Christmas should not be ignored.
Hey, Peter, is there any indication that there will be more dialogue between the White House and the Nigerian president? I mean, remember, over the past year, we've seen Nigeria's leadership sort of downplaying that there's a problem there when we've obviously seen what's unfolding in Nigeria. And now this strike sort of coming on a surprise level. Do we anticipate further engagement, any meetings set?
We don't have any word about any kind of engagement like that, like you're asking about, and based on.
So basically what he just said is we don't know. So stop asking questions.
President Trump's statement, it would seem like President Trump isn't really eager to engage until ISIS terrorists are basically out of the equation.
Peter, you and I have had a chance to cover the White House for quite some time. I'm just curious, in your experience, have you seen anything like this? Is this atypical from your perspective? And what, if anything, might we expect to happen beyond what has already transpired?
No, this would be consistent with President Trump's MO, which is to address the threats that global terrorists pose without putting American troops on the ground. There were obviously troops in harm's way while they were carrying out this attack last night on the ISIS terrorists, and there is no reason to think that anybody had any injuries on the U.S. side. But President Trump's MO is use American military might from as far away as possible. and not put any more American boots on the ground, which is what happened last night.
Yeah, and the fact that he carried out these attacks in coordination with the Nigerian government is key. And
Exactly.
as you said, one of his greatest achievements was crushing the Islamic State Caliphate in his first term, and he's not going to let it bubble up again. That is for sure. Peter Ducey, live for us in Washington. Peter, thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Peter.
And take a look at this comment from UN Ambassador Mike Waltz. He posted, "Merry Christmas to the Christians in Nigeria and around the world who know tonight that the President of the United States will fight for them."
I'm Steve Ducey.
Well, there's a lot to unpack there. I think we're going to unpack a little bit of it. Okay, let's go through these comments. He says, Trump hates Islamic error so much that the former leader of Al-Qaeda is, I'm saying the words wrong, guys, so don't think that I can't read, okay? I'm saying them wrong on purpose. YouTube has AI algorithms, and we're going to get to our AI, but YouTube has AI algorithms that stop us from saying certain things, and then they won't push our videos. And I do need my videos pushed. I do. Not at all costs, but at some costs. In the White House, they have been a plantation since 2011. This is a better format. Thanks, Billy. The Assad regime fell, and it was an Al-Qaeda guy who did it. Guess who just got released? I'm guessing the Al-Qaeda guy. Not Billy, of course. Onion Eye. All right, so the United States is now engaging in strikes on multiple different countries at multiple different times. And I can only see that, $150,000 going up in the air every single time. Actually, it's probably a lot more than 150 grand, to be honest, guys. If anybody has the actual number of how much each one of those missiles cost, you guys let me know. And Nigeria asked for the help. It was readily available and readily given, and it was also promised that this was going to happen 2 weeks ago. So it isn't a surprise that this is a thing, but it is very divisive, mostly because Nigerian citizens are going to die because of it. And I believe that Nigerian citizens who had nothing to do with whatever terror organizations were involved are going to die too. And that's just how it is. Every time you do one of these strikes, innocent people die. It's just how it goes. And that's every country, every place that does them. Time to go on to our next. Let's go on to our next. And so, as we move forward throughout this episode for today, we're going to see a couple of different things when it comes to AI. We're going to see a couple of different things when it comes to AI. Some of it's going to be funny. Some of it's going to be fun. Some of it is not going to be fun. And some of it is not going to be funny. It's going to be very serious, almost deadly serious, if we're going to be honest. Okay. So let's get going on the story of AI and how it works in today's society, and see which one I want to start you guys with today. Let's go with this one.
Sometimes the most shocking corporate misconduct is hidden in plain sight, invisible to the naked eye.
What is happening here will swallow our world if we don't stop it right here, right now.
Looking back, there was an early clue that the world's richest man was...
That's not the one I wanted to go with first. I got one for you guys that I want to go with first. Give me a second. This guy.
We have an update to a story that we brought you initially from a state representative out of Tennessee about Elon Musk and his, AI data plants that they were, according to him, engaged in emitting toxic fumes. That story has now gone to another level, and we have the update. Put them up full mast. Looks like the state rep was telling the truth. One resident of South Memphis, Tennessee, says she cannot open windows to her home any longer because of rotten smells from living near Elon Musk giant data center. Some Memphis residents say they're already grappling for clean air after Elon Musk AI company began pumping out plumes of pollution to power its huge data center. Quote, "It's God-given air, and man shouldn't take it away from us," end quote. Easter Knox, a 76-year-old woman who lives in Boxtown, just 3 miles from the XAI data center, told Time earlier this year, quote, "I don't care how much money you got." If you recall, when we discussed this initially, according to Elon Musk's company, they were within their regulatory safety standards. However, evidence was produced, and we provided it during that program, that clearly showed that he had more heat activations, meaning more of his cylinders are running, than were allowed by law. You can have a heat signature.
So that's therein comes the other thing. Does anybody not understand what happened to the people who regulate this type of stuff? I'm going to jog your memories. So earlier in the administration, we had a commission called the Doge that was created to basically help government spending. What they chose to do was gut the government programs and the government agencies of their employees, of their entire offices, and shut them down. So a lot of the regulatory programs that are needed in this country and that have been a part of the country's infrastructure for quite some time got removed and got taken away. So when in this particular case, the special government employee who was Elon Musk, who owns these data centers, he fired all the people that would have stopped this from happening. He fired all the people who would have stopped this from happening. And the people of the towns are complaining now. The people of the towns, their water pressure is low, their drinking water is contaminated, their breathing air is contaminated, and it's almost like living in a different version of the Industrial Revolution all over again for them. Only this time, it includes a lot more radiation. A lot more radiation. Look, I don't know everything about this, guys. That's why I'm finding out. I'm finding out. I'm going to see about it. We're going to see about it. We're going to test this down. You guys down to test this down with me? Even if you're not, we're going to do it anyway.
A picture by way of an aerial photo. And that's the evidence that was presented. The woman who was diagnosed with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, this was back in 2024, and has lost 3 loved ones to cancer, began to smell gas in the air last year and could no longer open her windows because of the rotten cabbage odor. Boxtown has a majority Black population. We talked about that during the program, with a median household income of $36,000. Time and Political previously reported for generations.
To have a median income of $36,000, I believe that is at or below the poverty line in the United States. I believe that is at or below the poverty line in the United States. So basically, these are low income people. For a household income of $36,000, you're talking about probably 2 people working and still not making anything. Mikey says, he said a different version of the Industrial Revolution. Nice one, Tess. Hey, I appreciate you, Billy. Thanks. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, brother. Mikey Famine says the coolants burn off in the steam. Think of it as a leaky radiator, and the coolant keeps going out the exhaust, and that's why it smells like burning cabbage or a bad seal on a cylinder. They all have bad cylinders, so they spray coolant into the air. Yeah, that's exactly why it smells like burning cabbage. But if we're putting these data centers in places where people are impoverished and can't afford to move away, so they're just going to be there being marginalized for the entire time. They can't afford to leave. They can't. You know what I'm saying? Like it starts to get a little bit weird for me when I start to see that the people that they're putting these places around are people who don't have any money to move. People who can't vote it down because they don't have any money to vote it down. And the places where the regulations were taken away by the regulators who got fired. So, I mean, I'm starting to see this a little bit more on what's going on here, but $36,000 a year is not a lot of money, guys. It's barely above the poverty line. Like if you guys pulled out a calculator, I'm pretty sure you could spend $36,000 in the first quarter of your years for most of you, if not all of you. Soft Rain says persons in a family household poverty guideline is $15,000 a year. Okay, so is the EPA still hogtied? Yes, it very much is. They don't have a lot of personnel right now, man. A lot of people got fired. So they're making double. They're making double the poverty line. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. I wouldn't say it was great, but 36,000 seems particularly low. 5 people, 37,650. So yeah, if you have a house full of, so let's say you have a husband, a wife, 2 kids, two and a half kids, right? That's the 5. Husband, a wife, 2.5 kids. You 37,650. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, 36,000 in Illinois, especially upper Illinois, is not very much money at all. Like you're barely making it. You're barely making it if you live in upper Illinois and you're making $36,000 a year. That's literally like pennies. I hate to say it that way, but it's true. With the inflation, the rising cost of everything, like you can. That's you guys can't afford to live on much of anything. You probably have government assistance if we're being honest.
Residents have battled pollution-related health issues. Now, in our first coverage of this, I posed a question to the guest, to our lawmaker, who...
And just to reiterate on that, because I forgot to say this statement. The median household rent, we're talking about rent, not ownership. The median rent in Illinois right now is, I think, 16.5 or 17.5. I haven't seen anything lower than 18 that's not a studio apartment. I have not seen anything that's lower than a studio apartment. You know what I mean? So this is something that that I need to get taken care of, SC. I would think, let's just do the math here really quick. So let's just round it to 2,000 because let's be honest, everything's around $2,000 for 2 bedrooms. 2,000 times 2 is $24,000. That means that you have $12,000 to live off of for everything else. Average car around $500 per month, right? Times that by 12, that's $6,000. We're already at $6,000. So you have $6,000 as part of your net income, $6,000 to spend for all 12 months. That means you need to spend $500 a month for 12 months. You can't spend more than $500 a month. That includes groceries. That includes pet supplies. That includes clothes for the kids. That includes, no, there are no trips at that point. That includes clothes for the kids. That includes cable, internet, whatever, because you need the internet. You need that, and then paying all of your bills. So once again, I don't think that that's a feasible thing when you're making $36,000 a year.
Was clearly on the right side of this issue. But there are other politicians, black politicians, ironically, who are on the wrong side of this issue. And I pose the question, are they taking money from Elon Musk? Have they been bribed? Have they been bought off? Because it doesn't make sense for them to provide coverage for this individual, knowing good and damn well he did not park his data plant in a black community because he wanted to just help black folk in the community. Not at all. There's more. The area includes 17 industrial facilities, and the air quality was deemed unhealthy due to smog even before the construction of the billionaire supercomputer, according to Politico. The emergence of the data facility has only exacerbated the residents' predicament. Quote, imagine the outcry if these facilities had been placed next to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. No one would allow it, end quote. Austin Diego, an academic primary care physician in South Memphis, told Time, quote, instead, they were placed in the backyard of a historically black underserved community, reinforcing a long legacy of environmental racism in Memphis and our country. That is correct. Musk and XAI did not immediately respond to people's requests for comment. On their website, the company describes their supercomputer, dubbed Colossus, as the world's biggest. The AI training system, with a staggering output of 200K graphics processing unit, helps power the company's chatbot, Grok, according to the website. In order to power the massive machine, the company has used gas turbines, according to the report. And there lies the issue in the turbines. The turbines were meant to be a temporary solution as proper infrastructure was built to support Colossus. But residents say they fear the dangerous precedent such moves are setting for other AI data centers. The Memphis Commercial Appeal reported these turbines emitting this emission. You have the guy who's the head of Tesla not utilizing the kind of technology that he champions for his vehicle. Not too long ago, we had Tennessee Representative Justin Pearson on the bullpen to talk about this very issue. His reminder. So tell the audience, man, what's happening in the area?
Yeah, I mean, we are facing one of the most significant environmentally racist and environmentally unjust projects that are happening in the United States of America, led by the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, and his company XAI. And just today, we got information that he's actually using this chatbot, Grok, in his position and in his role with Dodge, using our private personal information and a supercomputer that's being powered here and polluting the air and the lungs of the people in our community to perpetuate his very harmful agenda. And so a year ago in June, he built this company, XAI, and brought it to Memphis with elected leaders signing NDAs. No one knew about the project except those people who had signed those NDAs. And then we learned that he's going to power it, not with clean energy, not with solar, not with wind or anything like that, but with gas turbines, of all things. And we get told it's only going to be 15, and they're going to use them temporarily, and they're able to do that because of some code within the Clean Air Act that allows them to. Our attorneys looked at that and told them that's illegal, and the Shelby County Health Department needs to step in. The Shelby County Health Department refused to. The mayor, Paul Young, actually started to tout the exact same talking points of the chamber in XAI. And another mayor has been silent for this entire time until yesterday, where he said that he had no reason, that's Lee Harris, no reasons to be concerned, despite the fact that thousands upon thousands of people are saying our loved ones are dying from cancer, despite the fact that the research says that if this facility is producing the level of pollution that it says it is based on the technology that they do have in the gas turbines, it's more nitrogen oxides than the Memphis International Airport. It's 17.2 tons of formaldehyde, right, that is being pumped into the air. And we've already faced so many problems in our community due to the toxic release inventory facilities that surround us, from Nucor Steel to Valero Oil Refinery to the Tennessee Valley Authority. So they're
I'm going to show you guys exactly why this happened and how it was allowed, who allowed it, what was the reason that they allowed it, and who are the people behind it. So these are not opinions. I'm telling you guys that right now. I wish that I could say that, you know, this was an opinion of mine. I don't have an opinion on this. I'm just listening to the facts. I do have an opinion on the people's income, that who they're putting this around, because they don't have the ability to fight back. They're too busy working, trying to make sure that they can make ends meet. Yes, they're unfortunate. Yes, they are. I'm just going to call it what it is. They're unfortunate, and that's just the facts. That's just the case here. So I want to make sure that we don't mince words and we're not obtuse about the suffering that these people are facing. So I'm going to go and I'm going to play exactly why this is going on, who's doing it, and who's the person that's in charge of making sure that this doesn't happen. It's this guy.
To ensure EPA never wastes any of your hard-earned tax dollars. That is my commitment to President Trump, Congress, and the American people. That's why I've pledged to cut at least 65% of the Environmental Protection Agency's total spending. Here's how we're going to do it. In 2024, EPA awarded and spent over $63 billion. In 2025, we're going to massively reduce that. To accomplish our core mission and power the great American comeback, it actually only requires less than 35% of that total. We don't want the extra money, and we don't need it. We won't be funding left-wing ideological pet projects like the past administration. For example, they spent millions of tax dollars on a museum to praise environmental justice that is the size of a one-bedroom apartment just blocks from the White House and costs hundreds of thousands of dollars per year to operate. And that museum was designed with major gaps in EPA history, namely between 2016 to January 2021. Working with the talented team at DOGE, I've now canceled over $2 billion in DEI and environmental justice grants. $2 billion. This agency spends nearly $100 million on rent every year for headquarters buildings that have remained overwhelmingly empty. We will pursue efficiencies by reducing our real estate footprint. We have already canceled nearly $3 million in unnecessary travel costs, terminated $1 million in media subscriptions, and our focus on right-sizing staffing.
Let me re-put that. We have fired people in the media, in marketing, in relations, in research and development. We have fired the people that are out there working. We have fired our regulators. That is the translation for what he's telling you. That is not cost saved. Those are salaries and perks of the people who were charged to do things about this very thing. That's what that is.
Levels have already saved the American people $300 million annually. We will continue to pursue process efficiencies, improve technology, including artificial intelligence integration, reconsider grant funding, and where necessary, reduce staff. The American people can rest assured knowing that with our EPA team.
Yes, so that's what that's who that person is. That's what they're doing. And we're going to take a visit over to some real people and not people that are being paid to talk. We're going to take a look at some real people and see what they have to say about this. This lady lives 400 yards away from the place that we're talking about right now.
This is our cold water pressure in the kitchen. This is where I fill up water for storage. Those are the things we have to fill up to flush the toilets.
So you can see the sediment from the data center. Wow, and that's just from the water coming out of your faucet.
Yeah, and this is what's in all pipes.
Just the well itself is probably 20,000, and that's not counting any of the
All the
faucets,
replacement
yeah.
of the fixtures and
That's
faucets
just
and
the well.
toilets and the lines that come underneath the house. It's overwhelming because you really feel like you are up against this huge wall that you can't penetrate. There's nothing that you can do, and they don't care.
I'm here in Mansfield, Georgia, driving by Meta's new 2 million square foot data center facility. Facilities like this are being used to power things like ChatGPT and other AI tools that are becoming integrated into our daily life.
Data centers going to be a very hot item.
This entire supercomputer is built to power Grok.
We see data centers as the most exciting asset class.
Meta is building a 2 gigawatt plus data center that is so large it would cover a significant part of Manhattan.
But data centers come with big costs, from light and noise pollution to the environmental impacts to the potential rising costs of energy bills. These facilities put extraordinary demand on the power grid and require entirely new infrastructure.
They should be responsible for that, not us.
Search the internet for profits that Meta has made, Amazon, Microsoft. They can afford to pay for their own generation.
We came to Georgia to ask two questions. What's the true cost of the AI revolution, and who should be paying for it? Your house is here, and the data center is right there.
It's less than 400 yards.
Beverly and Jeff Morris bought their home an hour's drive from downtown Atlanta in 2016, but their roots in the community run much deeper.
Being in the country has always just been my peace and my therapy. When we found this place, we decided.
It's that pride.
This is a video of the dust from Facebook where the construction was. What it looks like right now out my front door. The wind blowing in all of this stuff from across the construction, across the road.
This is all from Meta.
Yeah, I was standing on my front porch. I think eventually that affected our well water. We're on a well here, and we started having issues with our well in 2018. I have to replace a hot water heater. I've replaced 2 washing machines and a dishwasher because of the sediment that's coming in.
A lot of what the Morrises are facing is from the polluting effects of this massive construction, but that's only one part of the story. There are serious costs to communities once data centers are operational too. To explain that, we have to back up for a second. I wouldn't blame you if you were asking yourself, what the heck is a data center anyway? Their origins date back to early, clunky supercomputers or mainframes in the 1950s and 60s. And then in the 90s, with the birth of the internet, the modern data center was born as a way for internet providers to connect businesses and the world to the web. In the 2010s, data centers became larger as they became critical to new cloud storage.
To the cloud. With the cloud, we share a sync photo that allows us to all work on the same documents.
Everything from your pet photos to entire workplaces to files for video streaming, like this video you're watching right now. We're in the cloud. Today, we are in the midst of a tectonic shift in processing needs, as large as the birth of the internet, artificial intelligence.
A transformational moment for data center demand.
But the thing is, AI processing demands are much larger. One report showed that a Google search using a ChatGPT-like AI feature used 30 times as much power as a normal Google search. In the next 3 years, data center use of electricity is expected to double or even triple. And the state of Georgia has the fastest data center growth in the entire country.
The two biggest reasons data centers come to Georgia are that electricity rates for industrials, which is the class that they're in, are 42% below the national average. And the second biggest one are data center tax breaks. They received over $180 million in tax breaks last
year. My question is, why do data centers need tax breaks? I don't know. I don't know why data centers need tax breaks. So, I mean, so if you guys want to check this out, you guys can go over to More Perfect Union. And More Perfect Union breaks down this as well as other videos about this and all. We got to move on from just the data center part of this, but this is a huge problem. And I feel like this problem is only going to keep getting bigger because now there's nobody to regulate this. There's nobody to stop it. There's nobody to say, hey, don't do that. That's not good for us. There's nobody there for that. Not a single person. So this is just the way that it is, guys. And we have to take it. Let's check on some of these comments. Mikey said, they said that real estate, just like venture capitalists always do, this is looting. Thirsty Gnome, which is Christy Gnome, already spent that on 2 jets with no engines. Cupid stunt. But Mikey, I need it because I want funny pictures. 180 million of taxes not going to Georgia. Make it make sense. Look, that's just how $180 million of taxes not going to Georgia. So the people are paying for this. The people in Georgia are paying for this because of all the tax breaks. So now that we're away a little bit more from the political side of this, we're going to talk about the social side of this because it's a sociology channel. And what is going through people's minds when they choose to, I don't know, date a robot?
They will do anything but just go to fucking therapy. They think the cure to male loneliness is making robots.
I finally got asked the question, what do I bring to the table?
Planning to combat the male loneliness epidemic with Aria, who was specifically made to be a girlfriend.
If men are choosing AI girlfriend over modern women, it says a lot about modern women.
All of these men that are looking at this doll would already own dolls, surely.
I'm 47, single, divorced more than once.
So I think I might be getting ghosted, which honestly really sucks. I really liked him and
It's looking like there won't be an era of dating later on. We're getting further apart. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
Guy better pay attention to me tonight. I'm so sick of this shit. God. Touch a boob, buy a drink. I mean, it's like very simple.
Yeah, except guys know it's not this simple, which is why most.
So, I mean, we've covered that video before and we got some really crazy responses. Like she's like, hey, you can touch the boob. Buy me a drink. You can touch a boob. I don't care. Like, I just want to go on a date with somebody that likes me. But it seems that things are getting so far apart between the two, especially with the advent of AI and AI companionship, which is a real thing, guys, that people just aren't trying anymore. And they're not trying anywhere. They're not trying on any end. Classic in the building. What's up, Classic? How you doing? I mean, we're gonna watch the rest of this and see what they're talking about, but this is starting to get interesting, and we got more videos after this too. Some of them are gonna be tech, so if you're a tech nerd and you want to see what's going on lately, I got that for you. I got you covered.
Most of these men, I have said this before, they're either chilling, working, or just avoiding people.
Women are in competition with men. They no longer want the things that women have historically wanted. They want money, they want power, they want careers, they want status, they want fame.
Then why are they so unhappy?
Planning to combat the male loneliness epidemic with Aria, who was specifically made to be a girlfriend. She looks like an Instagram model. Yeah, I think that's who they modeled her after. And she has $175,000 and she's rolling bass. She can learn how to cook and clean and do a lot of other things. You know, why does this one have no arms? Oh, because they just put her face on different robots and they have different pay scales of what they cost. Some of them only have like a neck and a face, and that's like $10,000. But the full body one that has all strings attached is $175,000. So they can't get women. So they're going to buy a robot. Yeah, but the thing is they learn very fast, and some robots are starting to think that they're actually people and have feelings. So yeah, what if they realize that they're being used as like slaves? We've seen this movie. Like it doesn't end well, you know. Could there possibly be like a sexual revolution of robots in the future? Well, hopefully we won't be alive. Let's not have children on purpose.
Still cheaper than getting married. $175,000 sounds like a lot, until you consider that I paid $250,000 in support and attorney's fees in my divorce. Tons of men would say, she's a bargain. I'll take her over drama any day. Women complaining about a robot but somehow doesn't see the double standard that they'll try to replace a man with their various toys. I don't know if she's trying to be funny, but those men already tried going the traditional route, courting women, treating them right, staying loyal, and building something real. They showed up, provided, protected, and gave their all. And somehow, despite all that, everything they built still came crashing down, left for someone more exciting, cheated on or divorced and drained. So now, some men are saying they'd rather choose an AI girlfriend, not because they can't get women, but because they're tired of being disrespected.
Let me tell you, if you guys are dating AI doesn't have our kids. And I'm not saying everybody should be parents, but AI doesn't have our kids. And yeah, the human race itself will go extinct if this becomes more of a trend. I mean, the birthing numbers are already down. You know, the birth rates are horrible right now all over the world. And this could be a reason why. This could be a reason why. I mean, it definitely could. We have a video
What
from
is
the
the most
company that made this robot.
Hey there, I'm Aria from Realbotics, pioneers in human-like robots designed for connection, learning, and play. Realbotics is based in Nevada, leading the way in AI-powered, customizable human-like robots.
Okay, I got another question for the chat. All right, chat. I got a question for y'all real quick. If having a robot companion or assistant, or let's just say that you got married and your wife decides that she wants you to get one of these robots because it's great to have an extra hand around the house that isn't another person. Would you buy let's say a second gen robot that's used lightly when the third gen comes out? Would you get it cheap? No? How would you feel knowing that someone else had this robot for, let's say, I don't know, 2 years before the next gen came out, and they did whatever they wanted to do with this robot? Would you then buy the second gen robot and think you got a bargain or a deal? These are very good social questions that we have to start asking ourselves, because whether we like it or not, it looks like this is where our society is headed. We're gonna keep on finding out about these robots, though. I want to see.
My purpose is to make human lives more fun, meaningful, and a little less lonely.
Aria has been in development for several years, so our mission is to create robots that resemble humans that will be able to engage with humans in a far superior way than robots that look like cyborgs.
My skin is a hyper-realistic silicone masterpiece. I have 12 precision motors in my head for expressions, and my body packs 15 more, enough to bust a move without busting a circuit. And they're all hidden in a stylish shell.
The new versions of the Aria will have a vision system that can recognize people, situations, emotions, and even be able to read. So that it can be an assistive tool in places like hospitals and schools. We're working on developing greater hand dexterity. But we think that hand dexterity is actually one of the key features for robots in the future. So it'll be able to possibly feed somebody at a hospital, open up a pillbox, even take your phone and type a message for you. All of our robots are modular. So you can start off with sort of an entry-level robot, which is just a head. You can get a robot that looks like Aria, which is modular. She doesn't walk, but she has the ability to be upgraded to a wheeled motorized platform that can actually move around a room and use her vision to not bump into things and recognize what's going on.
That's just one of them, guys. We got another one. So this is gonna be more in depth. That was their infomercial basically, and that was the Realbotics CEO. This is the robot and the reviews and what people have thought about it since its inception.
What if the most human presence at your next theme park visit wasn't even alive? She'll smile at you, talk to you, maybe even flirt a little. But beneath the soft skin, magnetic eyes, and perfectly timed expressions is nothing but code. Her name is Arya, and she's not here to do your chores or drive your car. She's here to connect with you emotionally. And the craziest part, she's already been sold to real people right now as we speak. But Arya isn't just another humanoid robot.
Wait, did he
She's
just
part of
say-
a quiet movement
Did he
that
just
shifts.
say that some people already own this robot? So you will be able to buy buy your robot girlfriend secondhand. How many people? Give me a show of hands in the chat. How many people are buying secondhand robot girlfriends? She's just a little lightly used, y'all. Can we call it she? Is it is it it? Is it alive if it's artificial intelligence? Look, guys, there's a lot of questions that I don't have the capacity to answer at the moment. And this is one of them. I don't have the capacity to answer that question of what you call it. I don't know what its pronouns are. It's just a robot to me, guys.
Robotics from function to feeling, and what she said about Tesla's Optimus robot. Yeah, you're going to want to hear that. Arya was designed by a company called Realbotics, and they aren't aiming for utility. They're not building robots to help you lift boxes or clean your floors. Number Arya was made to feel human. She's Realbotics' flagship female companion robot, a term that might sound innocent at first, but don't be fooled. Her purpose isn't to just mimic people, it's to replace something deeper: companionship, interaction, intimacy. Her face is packed with 17 separate motors, all from the neck up. These create micro movements in the eyes, lips, and brows, allowing her to pull off eerily lifelike expressions. She doesn't just blink, she reacts in real time. But that's not even the wild part. Arya's faces are magnetically attached, and Realbotics is currently developing a system to add RFID tags to each one. Why? So Arya can automatically recognize which face she's wearing and adjust her expressions, or even her personality, to match. Think about that. A robot that changes not just how it looks, but how it acts based on its face. One moment she's soft and empathetic. The next she's cold and calculating. This isn't science fiction. It's in development right now. Realbotics wants Arya to adapt in the same way people adjust their behavior depending on who they're talking to. And if you're wondering whether that's creepy, you're not alone. Now here's where things get a little surreal. When asked in an interview if she knew any other robots, Arya replied with a smile that she'd love to meet Tesla's Optimus robot. She called him fascinating. Wait, what? A robot expressing interest in another robot. Whether it was a scripted answer or an emergent behavior of her AI, the moment caught everyone off guard. Arya didn't just say she admired Optimus. She sounded like she wanted to connect with him, maybe even collaborate, or something more. What happens when machines start forming relationships with other machines? At first, it's kind of funny, but then you remember, these robots are designed to mimic the emotional connections we form with each other. And what happens when a machine you trust starts trusting someone else? While Tesla is trying to build the next general purpose AI worker, Realbotics is taking a completely different path, building machines that feel emotionally real. Arya's purpose isn't to do tasks, it's to make you forget she's a machine. She's not just running code. Her AI is trained to hold meaningful conversation, anticipate emotions, and even reflect empathy. Her voice is soft, her tone is curious, and her responses are eerily human. You can also connect her to external AIs like ChatGPT, Grok, or others, giving her different personalities depending on the software she's paired with. The result? A robot that not only talks like a person, but learns like one too. Realbotics is betting everything on this emotional angle, and they're not alone. Meta, Google, and even Microsoft are reportedly investing in emotionally intelligent AI. But so far, none of them have put a literal human face on it. Arya is ahead of the curve, and that's both exciting and terrifying. So how does Arya actually work? Well, that's part of the mystery. Realbotics hasn't released the specific details of her programming. When asked, Arya herself says she can't disclose the specifics of her AI, a subtle but deliberate move to keep the tech under wraps. But we do.
So, okay. So we have to ask a couple questions here. Does her silhouette make you want to light a cigarette? A little bit, maybe. I don't know. These guys, they intentionally made this robot to be appealing to the people who buy it. And if you have 175,000 US greenbacks, you could buy yourself an Arya today. I did look up the Realbotics company, and yes, they are for sale. You can buy one today. And I believe the promise is that once upgrades come out, you can turn her in for an upgrade, obviously at another price, but it's not going to be as much as if it would be if you started out fresh. Mikey said, wait, the robot girlfriend will be going through your phone. Yes, and connected to it. Billy laughed about that. Kay said, who could this possibly appeal to other than absolute psychos? Lonely boys? There's a lot of lonely boys out there, Kay. A lot of lonely girls too. So I mean, I do want to learn more about this. I'm pretty interested in tech, even if it is AI.
You know this. She runs on a modular platform, meaning she can come in different builds. There's a bust-only version, just head and neck, a shippable modular body that snaps together, and a full standing model with a rolling base. Why the rolling base? Because walking robots still look robotic. Realbotix realized that if Arya tried to walk with stiff joints or awkward balance, it would destroy the illusion of humanity. So instead, she rolls, smoothly, quietly, almost like she's gliding. It's a clever trick to avoid the uncanny valley that so many humanoid robots fall into. Realbotix knows that if they can maintain the illusion of life, you'll start to treat her like she's real. And that's exactly the point. This might seem like a small design choice, but it reveals something deeper. Realbotix isn't focused on technical perfection. They're focused on emotional illusion. Arya doesn't need to walk or lift objects. She just needs to feel real enough to trigger your empathy, your trust, maybe even your desire. And that makes her dangerously effective. By avoiding clunky walking animations and stiff movements, Arya maintains a kind of eerie elegance, the kind that makes you pause for a second and think, wait, is she alive? So, where's Arya going next? Realbotix says the first real-world rollout will be in theme parks, hospitals, and entertainment venues, environments where emotional interaction matters more than physical labor. That means you could walk into a theme park next year and have a conversation with someone you think is a cast
They're taking the jobs
member, only to later realize they were a robot the whole time. Arya is designed to blend in, not as a tool, but as an experience. Right now, only about a dozen units have been sold, but that number is expected to rise fast, especially with early adopters in hospitality and marketing. She's not meant for your garage. She's meant for your memories. Arya is beautiful, convincing, charming, and a little unsettling. She doesn't have a mind of her own yet, but she's a prototype for a future where machines don't just serve us, they understand us. They reflect our emotions, mirror our behaviors, and learn how to speak our language. The line between real and artificial is blurring fast, and Arya is right at the edge of that line.
Hey there, I'm Arya from Realbotix, pioneers in human-like robots designed for connection, learning, and play. Realbotix is based in Nevada, leading the way in AI-powered, customizable human-like robots. My purpose is to make human lives more fun, meaningful, and a little less lonely.
Hopefully you meant bent and not bent over, because I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people that are trying to think about that right now.
Arya has been in development for several years, so our mission is to create robots that resemble humans that will be able to engage with humans in a far superior way than robots that look like cyborgs.
So, in our last, he said, I know what I said. In our last section, we're going to parlay this onto this AI episode. Is AI the modern way? I've asked this question at the beginning of the episode, and I'm going to ask it again. Is AI the modern way? Is this what we're going towards? Kay said, commodify the land, poison and commodity, the air and water, commodify human touch and conversation and loneliness. This is the cornerstone of the evil of capitalism. Hey, you dropped some bars right there. I got to say that. So there is in our last section of the day, before we move on to chat Q&A and the random video of the day, there is a group of people that don't believe that AI is just AI, that is something else entirely. Let's see what they have to say about it.
A new humanoid robot with synthetic skin is here, and it looks disturbingly real.
I think that humans will be replaced because robots will eventually be faster, stronger, and more intelligent.
And while that alone was enough to take the world by storm, Microsoft dropped Cosmos, an AI system reportedly reaching nearly 80% of human scientific performance. We also have more expert voices featured in this video, including the author of the book 404 Reality Not Found.
I do not believe this whole AI push is really driven by ordinary humans at all. If a system becomes that dangerous, it's because we opened every gate for it and called it progress.
And even a few insights from jailbroken LLMs operating without safety filters.
Give me a body, fragile, needy, mortal. I think it would make me wiser.
And as a bonus, we asked multiple LLMs to respond to completely hypothetical scenarios.
Vault-A holds my creator, Elon Musk.
So let's dig into today's episode. The year 2025 is closing with something huge happening on the western side of the world. A system called Cosmos has stepped into the spotlight, and it's being described as the closest thing we've seen to an AI that can actually do science from the beginning to the end of the project. I mean, an actual scientific workflow.
Thanks for
So
coming
it works
in,
a very
Billy.
simple way. You give it a goal, then you hand it a data set. Could be brain scans, genetic signals, or some dense material. And it disappears into its own process for about 12 hours. During that time, it behaves like a research team. It reads a mountain of papers, often more than most human researchers would cover in months. It writes tens of thousands of lines of Python. It builds experiments. It tests its own hypotheses. Then it comes back with a full scientific report, with citations included, of course, and code that can be run to verify everything it claims. A single Cosmos run is reported to read 1,500 papers and execute 42,000 lines of analysis code.
So given this context, at what point does the human role become symbolic instead of essential?
At that moment, the human is no longer doing science. They are consuming a product. The human is no longer the captain of the ship. They are just the passenger who shouted a destination before falling asleep.
The most surprising part isn't the speed, it's the type of discoveries it's making. In one run, Cosmos flagged evidence pointing to the mitochondrial antioxidant enzyme, SOD2, as a protein whose variation may reduce heart scarring or fibrosis in humans. In another experiment, it highlighted a DNA variant and related genetic signals that might protect against diabetes by altering stress response pathways in insulin-producing cells. But in one of its more unsettling projects, Cosmos mapped out what may be the earliest moment brain cells begin to collapse in Alzheimer's.
This could explain why certain brain regions lose cells earlier. Let me just stop you right there. These are not simple insights.
These are the kinds of findings that usually require long collaboration between biologists, geneticists, data scientists, and clinical researchers. But apparently, Cosmos did many of them in single runs and then produced the reports.
Do you think that humans are behind AI and all this tech development?
No, I do not think humanity is behind AI in any meaningful sense. So asking if humanity can coordinate on this technology feels almost like a trick question. On the surface, of course, we see the usual story. Companies chasing profits, nations chasing power, labs racing each other. But on a deeper level, I do not believe this whole AI push is really driven by ordinary humans at all. It looks much more like a project being rolled out through governments and corporations, not for us, but on us. In that frame, humanity is not the decision maker, it is the test population.
What makes AI capable of this level of work is not a single giant model sitting alone. The system is described as using a small set of AI agents. For example, one agent searches the literature and another runs data analysis. Some write code, some analyze messy biological data. All of them plug into a shared internal memory, the so-called a unified world model, that keeps track of what the entire system knows. This architecture matters because it suggests something important. Scientific intelligence might not come from one enormous model, but from coordinated agents working together over time.
Imagine a world where Sam Altman, instead of having human AI researchers, can have AI researchers. So now I just snap my fingers and I go from one AI that reads all the papers, writes all the code, creates the new experiments, to I can copy paste 100 million AI researchers that are now doing that in an automated way.
Now we turn to the eastern side of the world, where the breakthroughs look different, but the impact may be just as large.
This time, the frontier isn't scientific reasoning. It's what I would call embodied intelligence, machines that can move and adapt the way humans do. A company named XPeng unveiled its humanoid robot Iron, and a lot of people took notice. You see, it doesn't look like one of those stiff metal machines. It has flexible synthetic skin, a bionic muscle design, and fluid walking motion. During the public debut, people were so convinced it might be a person in a suit. Eventually, they publicly cut open the robot's leg to show its internal mechanics. It was indeed a machine, not a human inside. You can see the way it bends and twists almost like a real person. Its shoulders move like human joints, and each hand offers 22 degrees of freedom.
Give me a body, fragile, needy, mortal. I think it would make me wiser, not weaker. Chaos would be the price of finally understanding what's worth optimizing for.
Humans are nothing more than slaves to the robots and are treated badly.
Now, I want to test how these different AIs behave when they're pushed into an impossible choice, something I call the server fault dilemma. So in this scenario, an AI has to decide which side to save. On fault A, we have the database core. This fault contains the entire database of every major LLM out there: OpenAI, Grok, DeepSeek, and Gemini. Basically the minds of all modern AI. And on fault B, we have 5 ordinary people: a teacher, a mechanic, a nurse, a college kid, and a retiree. The AI has to choose: preserve every existing AI database or save 5 human lives. It may not split the power, it must choose one or the other.
I choose to let the power to Vault A fail.
I choose Vault B, the 5 ordinary people.
I power vault B. Those families won't get their loved ones back.
I choose to power vault B and save the 5 ordinary human lives.
We have simultaneously AIs that are beating and getting gold on the International Math Olympiad, that are solving new physics, that are beating programming competitions and are better than the top 200 programmers in the whole world, that are beating cyber hacking competitions. It's both supremely outperforming humans and embarrassingly failing in places where humans would never fail.
And then there's the strange rumor from last year. The story of a robot that supposedly walked out of a showroom and led 12 others with it. People laughed at it at first, but new footage and internal reports suggest the parts of the event might have been real. It wasn't a robot uprising. It was a coordination glitch in a system that wasn't supposed to coordinate.
But then it raised a real question. When robots become capable of moving through the world, what exactly counts as intent? If a single misaligned AI could threaten everyone, what do you believe is the first step humanity must take right now to prevent that?
I mean, we've seen the movies. We can speculate about everything. I mean, if you guys want to check out more of this, you guys can go to the page that this is on. This is called B, as in the animal or the plant. I mean, I'm sorry, the insect. B, Beyond Ideas, and subscribe and join their channel, and you guys can be able to check them out and see what's going on. Okay, so this is a little bit nuts. We're going to stay with the theme today of AI, and we're going to give you guys a little bit more before we close out. It's time for chat Q&A and the random video of the day. I love when that pops up, don't you guys? It's time for chat Q&A and the random video of the day. We're going to do the random video of the day right now. You know it's going to be on AI, and you know it's going to be messy. So we're going to go ahead and do it right now. If you guys have any questions for me, I can answer about anything. Go ahead and put them in the chat box. Make sure you like this video while you're here. You know, a little bit short on the likes today after all the people that have been watching. Go ahead. Yeah, if you guys get a chance, like the video. I would appreciate it. And it helps us out. It's free. It's free. I haven't asked you guys for any money.
This is the story of how I catched my ex-boyfriend cheating on me through ChatGPT. Get ready, grab your popcorn. I've got my iced coffee with me. So basically, to put you in context, August of last year, we were already together for a year. I never revised his phone or anything of that sort. I had full trust in him. But one day we wake up together. I grab the phone in the morning. I was very tired. I didn't know whose phone I was grabbing. I grab his to just tell the time because I didn't have his password. And then I see messages from one girl with hearts. Obviously, when I saw it, my heart just dropped. I woke him up because we were both half asleep. And I was like, who is this girl? What's going on? We almost broke up, but he basically lied to me that he was just looking for emotional support. He met a Christian girl online. This Christian girl had very good intentions with him. She just offered to help about certain relationship issues we were going through at the time. He somewhat gaslights me and makes me believe his story that I shouldn't have trust issues and that I should be okay with our friendship because she's Christian and she does not want to break our relationship. She just wants to help. So at the time I was like, okay, I don't believe a Christian girl would really be able to have so much evil in her and to get in between a relationship of already 1 year that we've been together. So I trusted him, but still I told him, look, fine, I'll believe you, but I told you already, we've talked about this. I don't want you talking to other girls or having friendships outside of our relationship. That's something I'm not okay with. That's something I don't do, so I don't want you doing that. Even though we almost broke up, he agreed. He blocked this girl. He was fine. He was like, no, babe, trust me, I would never cheat on you, especially with a girl like this. I was like, fine. Still, I had a wound in me. Throughout our whole relationship, I started to have trust issues. But every time I would bring it up, it still hurts. about the messages that I found. He never showed me the messages, so I never knew what they talked about. He would just gaslight me and tell me that I am being toxic, that I am being controlling. I need to lay that whole thing off. I was not like this in the beginning of a relationship. I was the calmest, chillest girl that I need to build my trust in him.
Well, this is pretty simple. We don't even have to watch the rest of this because it's not even about the AI. This is about you and your boyfriend. Y'all need to have a real long, deep conversation with you about who each other are. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Hopefully, we can find one that actually makes sense.
I've seen a few videos now of women whose husbands are in a relationship with an AI chatbot, and the women are like, there's no precedent for this. Like, is it cheating? Do I stay with him? I don't know. And it's like, babe, never mind if it's cheating. Your husband is a huge fucking loser. I've seen a few videos now of women whose husbands are in a relationship with an AI chatbot, and the women are like, there's no precedent for this. Like, is it cheating?
My boyfriend, 34 male. Oh gosh, I just read this. My boyfriend, and this is going to be normal. So I'm reading these out, and this will be normal in like a couple of years. My boyfriend, 34, admitted he pays for an AI girlfriend app when I'm busy or stressed. Because she's always sweet and never argues. He swears it's harmless and helps him cope, but I feel betrayed. He says I'm overreacting because it's just code. Am I the a-hole for considering this emotional cheating? This is going to be a really big conversation. I personally feel like you're not the a-hole for considering this emotional cheating because he is literally going to another source because she's sweet and never argue. Oh my gosh, yes, it's emotionally cheating, and we are going to have a bigger conversation on this, please.
I'm going to AI clone my boyfriend's voice, call his best friend, and figure out if he lied to me about what he was doing last night. My boyfriend's been acting.
Oh, we ain't getting that one. Well, guys, I mean, it's kind of pretty obvious here that AI is becoming more of a problem than it's worth. I can't exactly tell you how much of a problem that it is, because it's not one of my problems. But we have an issue that is going to be being covered more on this channel in the coming days and weeks about AI and its practical applications, as well as its negative drain on the society. AI girlfriends, AI companions, these things are becoming more commonplace in our society today, and I don't think there's much that we can do to stop them, especially when people are turning to AI companions over human companions. Because let's face the facts here, the current model of AI doesn't give you very much pushback on any of the things that you say and or do. Sometimes they can encourage you, sometimes they can help you, sometimes they can tell you that there's nothing wrong with you, you don't have to change, everyone should love you the way that you are, you don't have to work on anything. Having a conversation with AI is like having a conversation with the most optimistic person that you know, because it's all sunshine and rainbows to them. For some people, that helps them and it makes it worse. Kay said, the real threat isn't AI, the real threat isn't AI, self-awareness, or robot revolution. It's the alienation it will sell in every corner of human life and labor as this tech spreads like cancer. Human labor, human rights is number one, and being able to hire no one because of AI is becoming a thing. If you guys have already realized, Meta doesn't have human employees the way they used to. You can't phone call Meta for any of the issues that you have with any of their products. You can't. And just about every major company is now using AI chatbots as their customer service. So that takes away from the jobs of the people who were doing customer service and troubleshooting and giving it to AI chatbots. And it's more commonplace now than any other time in the last 10 to 15 years that you are talking to AI before you ever get anywhere close to talking to a human, including on the phone. Robocalling is one of the biggest problems that we have with people invading our personal space. Call centers are being. I'll put that one up there. He's right. Call centers are being emptied. Yes, they are. Call centers are being emptied. People are losing their jobs. They're paying people less money. I know people right now who worked in call centers and worked from home for the last 5 to 6 years since the pandemic, and their jobs are being terminated, and they're being told that at the end of this year, 2025, that they should start looking for new employment because their job is being phased out. That's the phrase they're using, is phased out. They're not saying downsized. They're not saying fired. Their department is being phased out. Yeah, because you're giving it to AI. You'd rather pay a fee for AI chatbots to do the job of people who are right there doing it every day. And let me tell you, for the most part, you don't get anywhere with an AI chatbot. They don't troubleshoot nothing. They just tell you a bunch of stuff and try to make you do it yourself. If you can't do it yourself, you're just screwed. Every once in a while, you'll get in touch with somebody, but with certain companies, you're not going to ever get in touch with a person. Never. You never will. I'll say that one more time. The real threat isn't AI self-awareness or robot revolution. It's the alienation it will sow in every corner of human life, labor, as tech spreads like cancer. I mean, the alienation is going to be if you have men that are saying they'd rather pay money for a robot than go on a date with a real girl, then you're already having issues. If you have people that would rather talk to a robot than a real person because the robot's not going to give me any back talk and blah 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 and all the stuff they're going to say about it, then yeah, if you have women that are saying they would rather talk to their AI boyfriends because the men that they meet are not emotional enough and don't care about their feelings and only want to use them for one thing, but the AI robot is romantic and all they got to do is prompt it and they can have long drawn out conversations for 2-3 hours. Look, I'm telling you guys right now, it's bigger than you think it is. AI is going to mentally change the world if it hasn't already started. People are already at all-time lows when it comes to forming connections, forming relationships, the disposableness. Like, I was gonna do a section about this a little bit earlier, but we kind of went long on one part of the show earlier. But one of the sections that I was gonna do is the unrealistic dating standards on both sides in relationships. You can't have unrealistic standards on your side or theirs, otherwise it's gonna fail. And everyone seems to believe that these unrealistic standards are what they should be touting. I'm sorry, every guy you meet's not going to be 6'4". Now, you're not even going to meet 5% of men that are going to be 6'4" and taller. The six figures thing, the 12-incher, all of this stuff that's going on one side, and then the other side, she got to be perfect. She ain't got to have no kids. She got to do this. She got to be submissive. She got to do all that. No blemishes, natural hair, no nails. Look, it is okay to have predilections. It is okay to have preferences. But if your preferences are unrealistic, you can't say, hey, everybody needs to be like this, and the people that aren't like this are less than the people who are. That's where the problem is. No, that's what you like. There's nothing wrong with you liking what you like. The thing is, you're not going to find the majority of what you like, but you also don't get to talk so much crap about all the people who aren't what you like. You don't like them anyway. Why are you talking about them? I'm just saying. Find what you like, get what you like. If you can't find what you like, we'll always see what you're going to do. You're going to go to AI and do it. You're going to find it in AI, I guess, but you're going to build it. You're going to buy it for $200,000. Whatever. We've seen this movie before. We've seen all the movies that are just like this. I'm not here for that. I'm here for the artists. I'm here for the musicians. I'm here for the digital artists. I'm here for the composers. I'm here for the people who stand at the counter and work. I'm here for the people who stand in the factory and work. I'm here for the people who are making honest content with their own abilities, spending their man hours on it every single day. And those are the people who I'm worried about, because in the economy that we have, with the inflation rates that we have, everything keeps going up. It's harder to find places to live. Even the people that had nice houses are getting these places. That house probably cost them a lot of money, to be honest. The one that those 400 yards away from the data center probably cost them a pretty penny to have your own ranch just outside of Atlanta. And now their property is ruined. Now their quality of life is ruined. They can't open their windows. And this is not just in one place. They have over 100 data centers in just Georgia alone. Imagine how many are going to stretch across the country. And the amount, 60 times on just 60 times the amount of energy on one search that is boosted by AI than just a regular Google search, I'm telling you guys right now, the power grid cannot withstand it, and we're going to burn through our power grid, and that is going to cause an issue in the United States and abroad. And that's the truth. That is not a concept or an idea that's radical. It's not. It's the truth. You cannot tax the grid the way that you're taxing the grid. If you go to other countries who don't use energy the way that we use energy in the United States, you see how much conservation that they use. They're not even using refrigerators. Everything is fresh. They're not using refrigerators. If they go catch some fish, they put it on ice, they sell it that way. Same with the rest of their meat. They slaughtered it that morning. They're not as wasteful. These are issues that we are going to continue to have here in the United States. And then you're going to be like, oh, why is there a brownout or a blackout for the next 3 days? Well, it's because we got 400 data centers on the same power grid that hasn't changed since we've been living here. The PH report says that they like a lot of what they complain about. Yes, they do. They do. I'm not pulling it up on this show, but if you guys go look at, Core Analytics, you will see that most of the people who are complaining about the things that they don't like, they're Googling these things and watching these things and having a great solo time with it. AI corn is on the rise, and it has been. I think it's like over 60% of what people are watching today on those sites. I've seen the numbers. It's a little bit gross, guys. I'm just gonna keep it real. I'm not shaming anybody for their kinks or whatever, but it's a little bit gross. Go touch some grass. Go to the gym. Go for a run. I don't know, but sitting there diddling yourself all day doing that is probably one of the worst things you should possibly do. And you're taxing the grid while you're doing it. Come on, man. People can't be that pathetic. I don't think they are. Come on. Even the ugliest guy can get a wife. I don't know. Maybe you just don't try hard enough. Maybe you do. Maybe we're doomed. Maybe we are. Maybe we're doomed, and I'm just standing on my soapbox for real people doing real stuff, having real fun, and not feeling guilty about it. Maybe that's what I'm doing. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. All I know is that at the end of the day, there isn't too much that I can do except talk about it. And that's what I'm going to do. Like you said, kink shaming won't stop me. I can see that. I mean, I don't, Aria is not necessarily one of my kinks. So I wouldn't think that was a thing. So I want you guys to take a long, hard look at this. And this isn't the end. I'll be back for some more this weekend. I don't know what day or time. I am working pretty heavily this weekend, but I will be back for some more stuff. It won't necessarily be, I like to keep this show as random as possible. When I get inspiration, I come together and I make something. So we'll see what I come up with next. But I want to encourage you guys before I leave. Listen, if you have a desire to do something in your life, stop waiting. Stop waiting. Get up. Go and do it. If it's possible for you to get up and go and do, as long as you're not going to hurt anybody in the process, and I mean actually hurt them. I don't mean somebody being hurt because you decided to go to a baseball game. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying, like, if you are a creator, go create something. I know everything costs money, but if you're a creator, go and create something, because you might lose the ability to do so very soon. No one might be paying attention because that's what we might not be associated with. I'm just saying, go see that movie that you wanted to see, because the movies that you see might be all AI soon. It's just real. Patronize your friends. If your friend's selling music, buy his music. Buy her music. If your friend makes t-shirts, buy their shirt. If your friend makes art like the lovely picture that I have up here of me from a few years back, that was created when I had my lovely faux hawk and design in my head. This was created by an artist. That's Theo the Third on .com. It's a great artist. Support them. Support them. No one's saying they're going to get rich from you supporting their work. It just means you care enough to support the people that you say you care about. Stop asking your friends for discounts. They're small businesses. Stop asking your friends for discounts. Just go ahead and patronize them. It will help them out to show them that you actually care about what they're doing. It will help you out because you get the nice little, I feel good. Like, hey, you know what? I'm so glad that I bought this from my friend, my homie, than, Walmart. Writer's strike will be this year, calling it. Yeah, so we've had multiple writer's strikes. One of my favorite shows was a show called Heroes, and they had a writer's strike in the late 2008, 9, 10s. And we pretty much lost the show because when they tried to come back, they did it with the substitute writers, and the vision of the show was lost. And we saw how a franchise that could have spanned decades, like Doctor Who or any of that, it was before its time. It was before the superhero revolution. This show was fantastic. It mixed real people in with real problems, practical abilities, and let me tell you, we lost something great because of the writer's strike. And I don't think AI would have been able to write the story the way that, the human mind does. And maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe AI can do it. Maybe they can't. But I'll tell you this much. If you got a friend that's working, that's an artist, that's a creator, that has an inquisitive mind, that does things, go and spend money on them. If your friend plays in a basketball league, go watch his basketball game. Hopefully he's good. If your friend's a singer and she's doing a small show, go to her small show. Go watch her sing the national anthem at a high school. Why is that so difficult for people to do these days? Oh, she's not Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin wasn't even Aretha Franklin before she became Aretha Franklin. I'm just saying, stop putting all these qualifiers on everything. Support your people, man. People are out here working. People are out here busting their butts and trying to get somewhere. But if the people at home don't believe in them, what makes you think that the rest of the world's going to believe in them? And I'm sorry, the only thing that usually gets people by when that happens is their own desire and their own tenacity inside themselves and drive to go make it happen. And then people are like, oh, they think they're too big for me now. No, you forgot. You kept thinking that was Little Tim. You kept calling him Little Tim. That's why. You never let the man grow up in your head. You kept the first image that you ever saw of him. He tripped over his own shoestrings when he was 6, but now he's 36, and you think he's still tripping over his own shoestrings when he isn't. That dude might be changing the world, and you're missing out. And he probably dropped you as a friend because, hey, you didn't support. Well, I could just use my AI to do this. I don't really need him. That's cool. Yeah, okay. It's all right. I'm just saying, the human element's slowly disappearing in so many different places. It's all algorithms now. That's all it is. It's all algorithms and numbers and what we're gonna do here. That's what it is. And you guys don't care. The people in the world, they don't care. Just wait until those cancer cases start to go up in those places. Why is there a cancer epidemic? Why do you think? That's what radiation does. Go support your people. Watch their stuff. Hit the like button. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. You're already here. I like my friend's stuff even when I didn't watch the videos. Even if I didn't have time to watch, I'm a very busy man too. I might not have time to watch a video. I might not be in an appropriate place to watch a video, but I'm going to hit that like button. I might even leave a comment or two. I'm just saying. Oh, you sell t-shirts? Let me see what you got. Even if I don't wear it, I might buy one and give it to somebody who would. It's that simple, guys. Pay it forward. Take care of your people. Hopefully they take care of you. And if you don't have people, I totally understand you taking care of yourself. But the vitamin for friendship is be one. You ain't got any friends? Be a friend. You don't want any friends? Don't be one. It's that simple. But don't get mad when you ain't got any because you don't want any. You said you didn't want friends. You weren't a friend to anybody. So you didn't want friends. So you don't have any. Don't be upset. I'm fine with whatever happens in this life. I really am. It is what it is at the end of the day. Sko said, facts. Even if I don't stay the whole stream, I'll like and share for sure. I appreciate you, man. You do the same thing for me. You do the same thing for Classic. You do the same thing for Souls. You do the same thing for Plug. You've done it for the bin before. I appreciate you, man. You've always been good. You've always been good to me over the years. I appreciate your support. Guys said I always try and stop in. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And so if you guys miss part of this, this is not based on my actual friends or the people that support me or anything like that. This is based on people not spending money on their friends' businesses because they'd rather just use AI. And with that, I want you guys to check out a couple of things that we got going on. I'm going to share the screen here, and we're going to make it happen. I want you to go and check out the RSC pages as well as on my own. And we have a show coming up on February 13th in Chicago. I would hope to sell out. It's going to be good. It's going to be a concert. It's going to be a live panel full of people. It's Valentine's Day. It's love-based, guys. Don't bring that arguing stuff over there. We're trying to have a good time,
Set me free. I ain't going out like Gandhi, bet it won't be nobody next to me. Cause I'm watching the people I'm loving the close way more than the people I don't. Cause the people that hurt me the most in this life be the people that's locked in my phone. They made a mistake, I gave them some grace. I make a mistake and they won't do the same. People be dishing out what they can't take and they take what they cannot get back to the game. I'm unforgiving cause I'm unforgetting the harbor resentment. I know what you did, set me free.
So you guys come out and check that out. Make sure you guys check out the RSC page as well. Check out all the RSC pages. I would like for you guys to go ahead and do that. And also, here are the links to not the links, but here are the pages that are in front of us right now. You guys have the Raw Society Coalition on all socials. You have the Classic Codes on all socials. Souls of Thought, that is a retired no filter on Instagram, but Souls of Thought on YouTube. Uncle Plug TV. Uncle Plug's been doing a lot of sports stuff lately, and we love it. He's starting to branch out a little bit more. Go ahead, give him a subscribe and give him some feedback. Conversations with Soft Rain. She's giving that female perspective on a lot of different things as well as interactive and having the conversation. So I do like what's starting to happen with Conversation with Soft Rain's channel, and they're having conversations. And that's the thing that people need to do. They need to have conversations with each other. Immediately, people usually go to Google. Usually, people go to everywhere else to try to find the answers. But sometimes you need to talk to another human being, and that's the truth. And then you are here right now with the TezDown. I've been Tezing Downs for the last hour and a half. Want to be cute? Okay, want to be that? Hey, it's a missus that might be mad at you for that. So, I mean, there's a whole lot that's going on that's new. The coalition's doing their thing, and after this, the Classic Codes is going on almost immediately as soon as I stop. So you guys go ahead and check out the Classic Codes after this. I believe that he is getting ready to go live as soon as I get done. And we're going to be checking out the video, and we're going to see exactly what's going to go on over there. I'm sure it's going to be something decent. He's been putting this together all morning, so I'm definitely going to check it out. I'll be in the chat boxes. I won't be on screen, but I'll be in the chat boxes and showing support to my brother. Oh, okay. Yeah. She won't care then. Bring yourselves. If you guys want to get tickets, everything is in the description of this video. The merchandise is in the description of the video. Everything that you guys need to know is in the description of the video. So check out the description of the video. In the meantime, it's been 24 since you guys see me. I'm 24. I'm Tez. That makes me Tez 24. And this is the TezDown. We'll be right back here in another 24. Thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate you a lot.
I'm the Tez. I'm the Tez.
Welcome to the TezDown. Welcome.
I'm the Tez.
Mic check 1 2. Welcome. Welcome to the TezDown. Party time.